Hello everyone, welcome back. In today's video, we got a couple things to discuss. So we can continue on with our game review series, talking about the games that happened over the weekend and on Monday. We'll go through all that coming up right now. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here at the Internet Talk Show. Before I begin this video, don't forget to like this video, and if you really like it, remember to subscribe down below. We are so close to 100 subscribers. Thank you for all your support. I'll never be able to do so all of you guys, so don't forget to subscribe. Now, I'll kick things off today by discussing the game review recap video, by discussing the games that happened on Saturday. We got 11 games that happened on Saturday, we got 5 that happened on Sunday, and we got a couple that happened yesterday on Monday, so we'll get to all of the game reviews right now. I will start with the ones that happened on Saturday. First, the Detroit Red Wings would beat the Columbus Blue Jackets on Saturday morning, 5-4. Really close game, really good back and forth action, but the Wings come with the win. Wings improved to 8-5-2. Jackets dropped to 4-7-3. So really close game between these two teams, but it was the Red Wings who came in with the victory. Red Wings got 2 assists from Petrie and Fisher. They also got Fabry, Raymond, Sprong, DeBrincat, and Wallman also scoring for the Red Wings in the win. So solid game there from a lot of those guys. New acquisitions like Sprong, like Fisher, like Raymond, all paying dividends right now for the Red Wings to keep them above 500. For the Jackets, meanwhile, Texier, Laine, Fantilli, and Corrali were the 4 goal scorers for the Jackets in the loss. So really close game from both sides. It was back and forth action. Both teams, I think, had a lead at one point, but the Red Wings would extend their lead. Jackets would make it interesting at 5-4, but it was the Red Wings who came in with the victory. So the Red Wings are now up to 8-5-2 and look really good. Jackets are down to 4-7-3 and they continue to lose. They haven't looked overly good over the past little while. Then we had, in the afternoon, the Dallas Stars taking the Winnipeg Jets. Stars were able to get up to a 3-1 lead, held on for a 3-2 victory. So a solid one there for Dallas. They improved to 9-3-1. Jets dropped to 7-5-2. So Stars continue to expand their lead for the division title, especially against a team who was trying to catch them. Johnston had a goal and an assist. Harley and Duchesne were the 2 goal scorers for the Stars in the win. Meanwhile, Perfetti and Dillon were 2 goal scorers for the Jets in the loss. So, really close game. Both teams had really good stuff. I still like the way the Jets have been playing over the past little while. They were really close in this game. They were not doing overly bad. It just wound up being that they were not able to become the winners in this game. So, Jets lose to a superior opponent, and the Stars are able to edge out the Jets to improve to 9-3-1 and expand their lead for the division title. Then we had the Carolina Hurricanes. Remember a couple weeks ago that they were shut out by the Tampa Bay Lightning when the Canes were having trouble stopping the puck. This time it was just a complete opposite as the Canes shut out the Tampa Bay Lightning 4-0. Canes improved to 9-6-0, dropping the Tampa Bay Lightning to 6-5-4. So it was a really close game. Good game there from both sides. Burns had a goal assist as well as Aho. Nosen and Teravainen were the other goal scorers. Kochetkov stopped all 20 thoughts she faced in the victory for the Carolina Hurricanes. So it was all Carolina all the time. They were able to get a goal in the first period to make it 1-0. And then it was all Carolina after that. They were able to get a couple more goals and ice the game. Bolt's offense was right up in this game, which is something really surprising given how well they started out offensively. So, bad game offensively for the Bolts. Hopefully they can bounce back from that. They're now down to 6-5-4, so they're still above 500, but only by a game. As for the Carolina Hurricanes, the win puts them to 9-6-0. After 15 games, they still look pretty good, and they're still winning a lot of games after their poor start. So, really good stuff there from the Hurricanes to shut out the Lightning. Then we had the Ottawa Senators. They were able to get up to a 2-0 lead. The Flames make it interesting, but then the Sens would score 2 early third-period goals, including this one here from Travis Hamonic, which made it 4-1, and welcome security to Sportsnet. But Hamonic made it 4-1, and the Sens would win 4-1, so a huge win there for the Ottawa Senators to improve their record to 6-7-0 and be within 1 game of 500. Flames dropped to 4-8-2, and after that 2-game winning streak that saw them have some hope in the season, I think the hope's gone now. They're now 14 games into the season. They're still 4 games below 500, and it's just not looking good for the Flames right now. So Flames dropped to 4-8-2. Batherson had a goal and 8 assists. Stützle had 2 assists. Joseph, Charterer, and Hamonic were the other 3 goal scorers for their Sens in the win, while Coleman was the only goal scorer for the Flames in the loss. So it was a really good game. Sens really dominated for the most part. Calgary got a couple of close opportunities, but they were stopped by Ottawa. Didn't get very much chances, and the Sens were able to come away with the victory. So Sens improved. That's a huge win. They're only a game below 500. Flames dropped down to 4 games below 500, and they don't look overly well right now. Then we had the Toronto Maple Leafs in a statement game beat the Vancouver Canucks, who were on an either 8 or 9 game point streak. 5-2. Leafs improved to 8-5-2, dropping the Vancouver Canucks to 10-3-1. So it was a really close game early on. It was really close going to the third, but then in the third, the Leafs get a couple of goals, extend their lead, and wind up winning 5-2. Leafs would get Gregor had a goal and an assist. Domi, Bertuzzi, and McMahon all had 2 assists, while Nyes, Nylander, Kampf, and Robertson were scorers for the Leafs in the win. So good to see Robertson and McMahon, the 2 young guys who have been called up for the Maple Leafs, get into some game action and produce well. So good to see stuff there. Canucks, meanwhile, had goals from Miller and Suter as their lone 2 goal scorers in the loss. So it was a really close game. Demko didn't have the best of nights. It was a really good game there from Samsonov. There was chances both ways. The Leafs seem to have got their bite back to the game by sort of sticking up for their teammates. Giordano got an instigator penalty. Domi got an instigator penalty. So good to see the Leafs were able to get some bite back to their game, and they did wind up winning a statement game over the Vancouver Canucks 5-2. So it was a huge game for the Leafs. Huge win there to improve their record to 8-5-2. Well, the Canucks, it was an off game for them. They dropped to 10-3-1, but still, they have a really good record, and they did lose to a really good Maple Leafs team. So, solid game there from both sides. Then we had the Montreal Canadiens win another OT game, beating the Boston Bruins 3-2 in overtime to improve to 7-5-2. Bruins had the lead, lost it, wound up losing in overtime. They fall 11-1-2. Canadiens had a goal and assist from Kane Gooley, who also got the OT winner, while Gallagher and Suzuki also scored for the Canadiens in the win. Marchand had a goal and assist, and Zaka also scored for Boston Bruins in the loss. So it was a really good game from Boston, but Canadiens continued to be resilient, scored 2 early third-period goals to take a lead. Bruins once again found a way to tie it, but then the Canadiens, who seemed to be the masters of overtime, wound up winning it in OT. So a huge win there for the Canadiens to improve their record, as they're now up to 7-5-2, and they're back up 2 games above 500, so good stuff there from the Canadiens. Then we had the Pittsburgh Penguins shut out the Buffalo Sabres 4-0 to improve their record above 500 7-6-0. They've won 4 straight. They look absolutely phenomenal. Sabres are back down to 500 7-7-1. So solid game there from both sides, but the Penguins were the better team on this night. Erik Karlsson scored twice. Malkin had a goal and an assist. Graves had 2 assists. Drew O'Connor also scored for the Penguins, while Jerry stopped all 35 shots he faced in the shutout and the victory. So, solid game there from both sides. The Penguins were the more desperate side at this point, trying to get above 500. The Sabres did not look overly great in this game, being shut out. Their offense had been humming before, so it was not overly great for the Sabres. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen didn't look overly bad, but definitely it didn't stop enough to get them the win, and the Sabres were not able to solve Jerry in this game. So, Penguins look continually better. They're starting to mesh well together. They're looking a ton better than they did a little while ago, and the Penguins win yet another game and improve to above 500. So that's just major stuff there for the Penguins. For the Capitals, they improve to 7-4-2 with a 4-1 victory over the Islanders, who dropped to 500 on the year at 5-5-3. So that's a solid win there for the Washington Capitals. Ovechkin scored twice, while Protas and Dowd had the other 2 goals for the Caps in the win. Romanov was the lone goal scorer for the Islanders in the loss. This was a really good game for the Capitals. Ovechkin was able to score early. This was a really good game. Islanders answered back quickly, but the Caps would score a couple of second and third period goals to sort of extend their lead and give themselves the win. So a solid game there from the Capitals, and a much needed game there as well. Ovechkin also tied Gretzky in that game for the most empty net goals by one player in NHL history. So Ovechkin continues to put the puck in the net. However, he can use up to 4 goals now in 13 games. So solid stuff there from Ovechkin, and hopefully he can continue to produce and help the Capitals, who have now been red hot over the last little while and up to 7-4-2. For the Islanders, they continue to slip. They're on a losing streak, I think, right now. They have not looked good, and hopefully they can find a way to bounce back, as they've not looked overly good over the past little while. So Caps beat the Islanders. Then we had 2 really interesting games. First was the Arizona Coyotes and Nashville Predators. This was a back-and-forth action. Preds were up a couple of times by multi-goals. Coyotes would answer back, make it closer, eventually get a 5-4 lead. I think the Preds were tied after that. But then the Coyotes got a couple of goals and really sent this one away, and the Coyotes wound up being the Nashville Predators 7-5. A huge win there for Arizona, very resilient in this game. Preds, meanwhile, can't keep a lead. They wound up giving up 7 goals, and this was just not a really good showing there for Nashville. Arizona improves to 7-6-1. Preds dropped to 5-9-0. For the Arizona Coyotes, Keller had a goal, 2 assists. Cooley had 3 assists. Both had 3-point nights. Carcione scored twice for the Arizona Coyotes. Jersey had a goal and an assist. Moser had 2 assists. And Stetcher, Kerfoot, and Bukestad also scored for the Arizona Coyotes in the win. Meanwhile, in the loss, Forsberg had a 3.0 with 2 goals and an assist. Fabro had a goal and an assist. Nyquist, Novak, and Yossi all had 2 assists, while Sherwood and O'Reilly also scored for the Preds in the loss. So it was a really good game from both sides. Both teams looked really good. I think they all did really good. But the Preds continued to blow leads, and the Arizona, going down by multiple goals, I think multiple times in this game, was not overly ideal. They showed their resiliency by being able to win this game 7-5. So Preds not looking overly good. They've fallen even further below 500 than they were at the 10-game mark, and they don't look good right now. Arizona, meanwhile, with resiliency, are back up to 500. So solid game there from the Arizona Coyotes. Then you had the St. Louis Blues, who absolutely demolished the Colorado Avalanche 8-2. Since the 6-game opening win streak from the Colorado Avalanche, they lost back-to-back shutout games. They would then beat the St. Louis Blues to end that streak, and now the St. Louis Blues get their revenge by beating the Colorado Avalanche in this game 8-2. It was a fantastic game, including this goal here, which was Pavel Buchnevich's hat trick. That was one of the many good spots of this game for the St. Louis Blues. Buchnevich's hat trick. It was a huge game from Pavel Buchnevich in this game. Also from Braden Shen. Both guys ended up having hat tricks in this game, which is absolutely phenomenal. And the Blues went up winning 8-2. Shen had 3 goals and an assist. Thomas had 4 assists, both had 4-point nights. Buchnevich had a hat trick. Krug had goal and assist. Falk and Sundqvist both had 2 assists, while Chelyabinko also scored for the Blues in the win. Meanwhile, Rantanen and Johnson were 2 goal scorers for the Avalanche in the loss, who dropped to 8-5-0, while the Blues improved to 7-5-1. So, solid start there from the Blues still. I said they had a lot of trouble scoring. They were able to find some offense in this game, which is really good. They've been winning a lot of low-scoring games on the back of their goalies. So, good to see they were able to get some offensive scoring and get some momentum on this team. That's a major thing for the St. Louis Blues, and hopefully they can build off of this really good game against the Avalanche. For Colorado, this was a really bad loss. They're down to 8-5-0. They're 2-5-0 in their last 7 following that 6-0 start, so not great news for the Avalanche, and they really need to start picking up the pace if they're going to keep being a top-end team in that division. Then you had the last 2 games on Saturday. The Edmonton Oilers would start this game on fire, absolutely giving it to the Seattle Kraken. Edmonton was able to get a quick hat trick from Zach Hyman early in the first period, natural hat trick, held on for a 4-1 victory over the Seattle Kraken. That was a much-needed win for the Edmonton Oilers. They improved to 3-9-1. Kraken dropped to 5-7-3, so not great news for the Kraken, who had been looking up over the past little while, but now they're back down to 2 games below 500. Oilers, that was much needed win to end their losing streak, and now they're back to 3-9-1. So Hyman had a hat trick, Kane had 2 assists, Holloway also scored for the Oilers in the win, while Schurz was the lone goal scorer for the Kraken in the loss. There's not a really good start to this game for the Kraken. They would give up a couple of quick goals. Edmonton, Zach Hyman especially, looked extremely lethal in this game, and even though it was not a great game for the Kraken, they tried to make it close, but it's a short goal in the third period, but it was way too little, way too late. They need to work on their starts a lot better, but definitely the Oilers, huge win there for them to improve their record and get themselves back in the winning column. For the Kraken, it was a really bad game from the start, and I think they do really deserve to lose this game. So a really close game there from both sides, but it was the Oilers who came away with the victory. Then we had the Philadelphia Flyers double up the LA Kings in our final game, 4-2, to improve to 7-7-1, dropping the Kings to 8-3-3. So it was a really close game, but a really good game there. It was mostly the Flyers early on, getting up to a 3-0 lead. They would wind up winning 4-2. Frost has scored twice, really good for him to score his first 2 goals of the season. Tippett had a goal and an assist. Walker had 2 assists, and Atkinson also scored for our Flyers in the win, while Grunstrom and Kempe were 2 goal scorers for the Kings in the loss as they dropped to 8-3-3. So Kings have not done overly well when the Pennsylvanian teams came to LA. It was not overly great showing there from Los Angeles. But still, they were able to get a point out of it. Not overly great to lose to Philadelphia in regulation, but definitely it was a decent game from the Kings. They still made it close, even though they had a pretty bad start. So still things to like for the Kings, but they do fall to 8-3-3 on the year. For the Flyers, they're back up to 500 after a really sour last few games. So really good stuff there from the Flyers, who do improve to 7-7-1 and should improve to 7-7-1 after that solid game. So Flyers improved, and they improved their record. Then go over to Sunday's game action. The Florida Panthers were able to escape with a close 4-3 victory over the Chicago Blackhawks to improve to 9-4-1, dropping the Chicago Blackhawks to 5-8-0. This was a really close game. Bedard once again had a fantastic night. For Florida, 2 goals and 2 assists from Sam Reinhart, who continues his torrid pace to start the season. Ekman Larson had a goal and an assist. Rodriguez and Kachuk both had 2 assists, while Verhaeghe also scored for the Florida Panthers in the win, so it was a really close game, but the Panthers were able to get a lot of goal contributions from a lot of places. Meanwhile, Bedard scored twice for the Chicago Blackhawks, and Jason Dickinson also had a goal for the Blackhawks in the loss. So it was once again a really good performance from Bedard. He's now up to, I think, 9 goals in 13 games. He's looked fantastic, but it was not enough to propel the Blackhawks to a victory in this game. Hawks dropped to 3 games below 500. Not surprised by that. Hawks are a lower end team in this league, and even though Bedard's going to keep them in games, they're probably going to lose a lot of them. Panthers, I'm surprised. They've started really well. They're 7-2-1 in their past 10 games. They've looked absolutely great, and I am not overly shocked that this team is doing great. I said they would be a bubble playoff team, given the fact that I thought they would have a little bit of troubles keeping the puck out of their net with Ekblad and Montour out. But definitely, they're showing that they're able to keep the puck out of their net even without those two. They're still getting offensive contributions, especially from Sam Reinhart. And I think this team has looked fantastic to start the season. So really good stuff there from the Panthers, who have, in my opinion, exceeded my expectations for them to start the season and have looked really good. Then you had the Dallas Stars in the second half of the back-to-back, absolutely demolished the Minnesota Wild, 8-3. The Stars, this was a game that was all them all the time, absolutely, right from the get-go. A fantastic game from the Dallas Stars as they improved to 10-3-1. Wild continue to have defensive issues, special teams issues. Goaltending has not been a strong suit for them to start the season, and they're now down to 5-8-2, which is not fantastic news for the Minnesota Wild. So really bad stuff there for Minnesota. Robertson had 2 goals and 8 assists. Johnson had 2 goals and 8 assists. Heiskanen had 3 assists. All had 3-point nights. Duchesne had a goal and 8 assists. Ben and Sagan both had 2 assists. And Adana, Fox, and Pavelski also scored for the Stars in the win. Meanwhile, for the Wild, Zuccarello, Duhaime, and Lettieri were the 3 goal scorers in the loss. So, once again, the Wild continue to get some offensive production. They're still getting some pretty good offensive production from a lot of their top-end players, like Zuccarello, like Kaprizov, their top 6 forwards, even some of their bottom 6 forwards. They're having some pretty good offensive production, but they just can't get the puck out of their net right now, whether it's via special teams or 5-on-5. Their goaltenders have not done overly well this year, and their special teams have been pretty bad too. Meanwhile, for the Dallas Stars, they continue to show why they're one of the better teams in the league and in the Western Conference. They continue to climb up the standings, and they've now reached double-digit wins. So, good game there from the Stars. Then we had a huge win there for Vancouver Canucks with the Montreal Canadiens, as they were able to win 5-2, got up to a 3-0 lead, wound up holding on for a 5-2 victory with a couple of empty net goals. Huge win there for Vancouver Canucks after losing to Toronto to bounce back and improve to 11-3-1, dropping the Canadiens to 7-6-2. So solid win there for the Vancouver Canucks. Joshua, Garland, and Besser all had a goal and assist in this game. Miller had 2 assists, and both Giuseppe and Mikheyev also scored for the Canucks in the win, while Xhekaj and Matheson were 2 goal scorers for the Canadiens in the loss. So really good stuff there from the Montreal Canadiens to continue to be competitive and keep it close. But it was the Canucks game. This was all Canucks all the time in this game. Really good game from Vancouver to improve their record to 11-3-1. They continue to look dominant, so good bounce back effort there from the Canucks. Then we had the New York Rangers. They looked like they were going to lose this game, honestly, but thanks to this goal here, with only a couple of seconds left in regulation from Alexis Lafreniere, the Rangers were able to tie the game at 3-3, send it to overtime, send it to a shootout where Lafreniere would once again score, this time in the shootout to get the shootout winner, as the Rangers would come back to beat the Columbus Blue Jackets 4-3 in a shootout to improve to 11-2-1, dropping the Columbus Blue Jackets down to 4-7-4. So really bad stuff there from the Jackets, who continue to lose. Good stuff there from the Rangers, who continue to find ways to win. Lafreniere scored twice in this game. Kreider had a goal and an assist. Panarin had 2 assists, and Lafreniere, like we said, was the lone goal scorer in the shootout in the win for the Rangers. Meanwhile, Goodbranson had 2 assists, and Fantilli, Danforth, and Crowley were 3 goal scorers for the Jackets in the loss, as the Jackets dropped to 4-7-4. So solid game there from the Rangers, solid game there from the Jackets. Both teams had really good showings, but was the Rangers who came away with the huge victory over Columbus. They only had a Battle of California between the San Jose Sharks and the Anaheim Ducks. Ducks were able to come away with a huge 4-1 victory, righting their ship, getting back in the win column. Huge win there over the San Jose Sharks, who they should be beating. The Anaheim Ducks got a 3-point night from Frank Vetrano with 2 goals and an assist. Strome had 2 assists, while McTavish and Gudas also scored for the Ducks in the win, while Kunin was the lone goal scorer for the San Jose Sharks in the loss, who continue back to their losing ways. After an impressive back-to-back wins, thanks to Mackenzie Blackwood, they've now lost to the Gold Knights and the Ducks. So really bad stuff there from the San Jose Sharks, who continue to lose. Then we had yesterday 2 games without NHL action, not too much. The Edmonton Oilers, after giving up the first goal just a mere 40 seconds in, were able to beat the New York Islanders 4-1 to improve to 4-9-1, dropping the Islanders to 5-6-3. So for the first time since the very beginning of the season. The Islanders are under 500, and the Oilers, for the first time this season, have strung together back-to-back wins. So solid stuff there from the Edmonton Oilers, who needed that one big time. Also, the Oilers made a coaching change. So new coach Chris Knoblauch was able to get his first win as a NHL head coach of the Edmonton Oilers, so that was solid stuff there from the Oilers. Oilers were able to get a 4-point night from Leon Draisaitl, goal, 3 assists. McDavid had a goal and an assist. Hyman and Kane also scored for the Oilers in the win, while Barzal's lone goal scored for the Islanders. So the Islanders have continued to fall in. I think they started like 5-2-1 or something in their first 8 games, and since then they have not looked overly good. They continue to give up goals. They're not looking overly good. Their defense, which is their strong suit, has not been overly good over the past couple of games. And once again, their problem of offensively scoring is still showing really, really bad. So horrible stuff there from the Islanders. Meanwhile, a huge win there for the Edmonton Oilers to improve to back-to-back wins. Will they be able to make it 3 in a row against the Kraken on Wednesday? We'll have to wait and see. But it looks like the coaching change has helped the Edmonton Oilers in a big way. And then also yesterday, the Colorado Avalanche would beat the Seattle Kraken 5-1. Kraken opened the scoring, thought they were up 2, the goals were overturned, and then after the goals were overturned, the Colorado Avalanche would score 5 consecutive goals to improve to 9-5-0, dropping the Kraken to 5-8-3. So really good stuff there from the Colorado Avalanche. McKinnon had 3 assists, Duran and Makar both had a goal and an assist. Makar's goal, as you can see here, fantastic goal to improve that lead to 3-1 at the time. Fantastic stuff there from Makar. Taves and Tatar both had 2 assists. Nichushkin, Colton, and Drouin were the other goal scorers with the Colorado Avalanche in the win. While Brandon Tanev in his return to the lineup was lone goal scorer for the Seattle Kraken in the loss. So really close game there from both sides. Avalanche, as this game will go on, would eventually start to take over 1-5-1. So definitely not great stuff there from the Kraken. But hopefully there's some things they can build off of here, and they can continue to do well. Hopefully they can get a win, because they're now back down to 3 games below 500, which is not overly fantastic at the 16-game mark. So hopefully they're able to string together some wins, but it does not look overly good right now for the Seattle Kraken. So going to be interesting to see what else happens. Those are your game review updates right now. We do have a couple of other games that are going to be happening over the next couple of days. First, today we have 9 games on an NHL schedule. Bruins play Sabres, Pens play Blue Jackets, Flames play Canadians, and Golden Knights play Capitals at 4. At 5 o'clock, you have the Coyotes and the Stars, the Ducks and the Predators, the Bolts and the Blues, and the Devils and the Jets. And then at 7:30, you have the Panthers taking on the Sharks. So a really busy schedule there for today's action. And then tomorrow at 4:30, we have the Flyers and Canes. At 5:30, the Kraken and Oilers. At 6, Ducks and Avalanche. And at 7, Islanders and Canucks. So we have a lot of game action over the next couple of days. Quick standings update from after the weekend's games. The Boston Bruins had 24 points now, first in the Atlantic Division. Second in the Atlantic is Florida with 19. Third in the Atlantic is Detroit with 18. The New York Rangers continue to lead the Metro with 23 points, followed by Carolina with 18 and Washington with 16. The Toronto Maple Leafs with 18 points, and then Tampa Bay Lightning with 16 points are in the playoffs right now with the 16-point Montreal Canadiens, the 15-point New Jersey Devils, the 15-point Philly Flyers, the 15-point Sabres, the 14-point Penguins, 13-point Islanders, 12-point Senators, and 12-point Jackets being on the outside looking in right now. Meanwhile, on the western side, the 21-point Stars lead the Central Division, followed by the 18-point Avalanche and the 16-point Jets. Then you have the 25-point Knights leading the Pacific Division, followed by the 23-point Canucks and the 19-point Kings. And then you also have the 16-point Ducks in the playoff spot, the 15-point Blues in the playoff spot, followed by the 15-point Coyotes, 13-point Kraken, 12-point Wild, 10-point Blackhawks, Predators, Flames, 9-point Oilers, and 5-point Sharks. So definitely really good stuff there for the standings. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you think were some of the better games over the past weekend? What were some of the games that you liked? Do you think some of these teams can come out of their slips right now? Kraken still don't look good. Wild still don't look good. Predators still don't look good. Flames still don't look good. Oilers have gone back-to-back wins. Can they continue that sustained pressure? Definitely. I'm going to be interested to see. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on those things down in the comments below. But that's all I'm going to talk about today. Remember to like this video. And if you really liked it, remember to subscribe down below. We are so close to 200 subscribers. Thank you for all of your support. I'll never be able to do it with all of you guys. So don't forget to subscribe. I also do a blog talking about news, rumors, analysis, stuff like that. So definitely check that out. I'll leave links down in the description below. And I can't wait to see you guys all for the next video. See you guys soon.